Alright, man. So I didn't think I was gonna have to make a video like this, but man, now I have to because Lamar Jackson's name just keep getting dragged through the mud, especially all last week. So last week we seen Lamar Jackson name being dragged through the mud as their players, execs, all of them had made a poll of top 10 QBs, and Lamar Jackson surprisingly didn't even make the top 10. Like, they had Dak Prescott in the top 10, to which, in my opinion, he's not top 10 because he's too inconsistent, in my opinion. Deshaun Watson was in the top 10, to which, honestly, he is, but, like, you haven't seen him in the year, so, like, I wouldn't put him in there for the simple fact that like, we haven't seen him in the year, and he based it off of, like, last time we seen him. But the fact that Lamar Jackson wasn't even considered in the top 10 as it is kind of wild to me. And there are people that like agreeing with that take, which I'm like, did you not see what he was doing last year? Like last year, granted, like he started to tail off a little bit in it before he got injured, but like he got the Ravens to at one point the number one seed in the AFC, to which the AFC last year was really loaded with great teams. Like a good amount of teams, probably like a good 9 teams could have made the playoffs last year alone. Like, that's how good the AFC was last year. Like, there was so many great teams last year. And at one point, the Ravens were the number one seed. Like, that is crazy. Especially given the fact that the Ravens were the most injured team of all last year, and they still were the number one seed at one point. Now, if you look at his numbers, he threw 16 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, but, like, that doesn't tell the full story because the way that he was winning these games, like, it was just, you actually had to watch the game to actually fully understand, like, how he was winning these games. Like, he was definitely the difference maker between them winning games and them losing games. And it showed when he ended up injuring his ankle, something like that, I think week 14, and they didn't win a game after the fact that he was injured after that. So it was. So you know that Lamar Jackson had a big impact on his team for sure. He didn't even get listed in the top 10. Like, that's crazy to me. But that's their opinion. But like, I think it's ridiculous for the simple fact that like they even think this through. But shoot, then it come to find out last week, a former Ravens, which I don't forget his name. He's to Lamar said himself, he basically had nobody. But former Raven actually criticized Lamar for like not being that consistent of a thrower that he is, to which admittedly, yeah, he could be a little inconsistent with his throwing, but he definitely improved ever since his rookie year. Like, so he definitely improved since he been in college. Like, I love watching Lamar Jackson when he was in Louisville. He was like the most electric QB I've seen in a very long time. Like seriously. But like the fact that a former Baltimore Raven actually was criticizing him for that, which, hey, their opinion is their opinion, but like, it's crazy. That's how you know like there's a lot of like Lamar hate out there still. All the Lamar hate where they said like he should have still been a wide receiver, should have been running back, to which reminds me, like, do you not remember that, like, Lamar won the unanimous MVP his second year in the league, which he also led the league in passing touchdowns with 36? Like, he's a first-team All-Pro player. He's a 2-time Pro Bowl, which he actually made the Pro Bowl last year, too, to which is a little bit surprising to me because they had the Pro Bowl voting early, but, like, still, he made the Pro Bowl. He actually has the most wins as a starter before turning 25 for QB with 37 wins. He only has 12 losses as a starter, so there's that. And then top it all off, at one point, he actually had the more total yards than 18 teams last year at one point. Like, that is impressive to think about how much he had to do to actually like will his team to even the number one seed at one point in the AFC. That's how good he was. And don't get me started on how like he lost most of his running backs, not even before the season as it is. Most of the corners were gone. Most of the corners and defense was gone, so the defense was like wasn't playing as good. It was still playing decent, but like it wasn't playing on the Ravens defense like it usually would. And then the running backs kept getting injured and stuff like that. They lost Ronnie Stanley for most of the year. The offensive line wasn't that good. The receivers, other than Mark Andrews, was like it was so and so. Like Marquise Brown had a pretty good year, but like he struggled with drops most of last year, which didn't help Lamar out that much. Now Lamar, he to me had a great year for what he did. Of course, he had that one game against the Browns Sunday night where he threw a career high 4 interceptions, but like his team still won the game. Of course, you don't count that against Lamar for throwing 4 interceptions. You should never do that, but his team still won the game. So, week one, had he not lost like 2 or 3 fumbles, like the Ravens could have easily won that game against the Raiders. Like he had a great game against them too. And don't forget about the Colts game where he threw for four passing touchdowns and threw for 442 yards passing. He had like an 85% completion rating too that game too, which he's the first QB to do that too, by the way. Throw over 400 yards and have an 85% completion rating. First QB to ever do that. All I'm saying is this: like the more you keep hating on Lamar Jackson, the more he's gonna improve. Like he's only gonna get better. And I know he has some contract extension coming too. He's representing himself. He's trying to get that max pay for himself. But like Lamar Jackson is here to stay for at least another 5 to 10 years. Like he's here to stay. Like knock on wood on like injury and stuff like that, but he's here to stay as a top 10 QB in the league. Like there's no reason that Lamar Jackson's name should be dragged through the mud like this. It's crazy that people still think that he's not even top 10 in the league. Like it's still crazy to me. But that's my opinion. That's all I gotta say about that. Let me know how y'all feel about Lamar Jackson. Is Lamar Jackson a top 10 QB to y'all? Shoot, if he is, how high would you rank him in the top 10? Personally, I have him borderline top 5, but not right at top 5. But that's like the highest I could rank him at the moment. But let me know what y'all think about it in the comments, and thanks for watching the video, and have a great day.